presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are San Diego.
And welcome to Philadelphia. Wednesday night baseball, game 3 of the 4-game series, the Padres and the Phillies. Oh, that's a monster homer. Number 2 for Will Myers. And Upton will touch them all. Double by John Jay. 3-run shot, Spangenberg, a solo blast from Matt Kemp. Melvin Upton Jr. has enjoyed a productive road trip, 7 hits and 3 walks, a .500 on-base percentage. He'll be hitting 5th in the Padres lineup tonight. As San Diego looks ahead for a victory, Mark Grant, and a winning road trip, that's always a plus. They're currently 3-2 with games tonight and tomorrow against Philadelphia. And you know, we've had in the past recent years some leadoff batters,
right?
But you know, I think we've got a leadoff hitter this year.
I think you're right. When it comes down to it, Padres have really not had that prototypical leadoff guy in the last few years. Well, here's a breakdown. Let's talk about 2015, 247, 2014, 241. There was a lot of overturn, a lot of personnel in that spot. Well, John Jay is your guy this year, and look at the numbers. They don't lie. 303 average. He takes walks, he puts the ball in play. Dick, he's got a nice 8-game hitting streak going.
That's right up with all the active major leaguers. 8 games, 8 times he's gotten at least 1 hit.
And the one thing that sticks out also besides the average is the doubles, the extra base hits. He's aggressive around first base. He takes that extra base if the outfielders have to move to their right. And one other little nugget Andy Green showed me before the game, he said, you know what, after an at-bat, he might strike out. It might be not be the best at-bat. He'll go back to the rest of the dugout, the rest of the hitters, and say, hey guys, this is what this guy's doing. The sinker's kind of flat, the breaking ball is doing this and that. That tells me that John Jay is a team player. He wants to spread the information to the rest of the ball club.
All right, and it better be a team hitting effort tonight. The Padres, 8 games, 4 of them have been shutout losses. They lost 3-0 last night. Let's get those bats rattling it down in the San Diego dugout. We'll be right back with the opening pitch from Philadelphia. Sports San Diego presents Padres Baseball, brought to you by the California Center for Sustainable Energy. It's easy to stay golden at energyupgradeca.org. And by Petco, your complete pet store. Phillies on the field. Time first for our Saquon Pick the Stick. Fans, you decide who you're with by tweeting out hashtag I'm with and the last name of the broadcaster you think has the best pick tonight. If you're right, you could win a free foursome of golf at the Saquon Golf Resort.
I would be great on the golf course, wouldn't I, Professor?
Oh, yeah, you'd be 2 under par. That's right. You've got Andy Rosales. Myers for me, Bethencourt for Pomerantz, Mike Swinney chasing our leader, Julie Alexandria, just 9 points back. Julie with Kemp, and Sweeney takes the leadoff man. John Jay.
If I don't laugh, I'll go insane.
But, you know, the season's long.
It is a long season.
Two-time defending champion. He's playing the game this year so confidently, giving us all a chance. The Padres lineup tonight brought to you by Toyota. John Jay, Corey Spanchenberg, Matt Kemp, the usual 3 to start things for Andy Green, with Will Myers back in the starting lineup after a night off last night. Melvin Upton hits 5th. Christian Bethencourt behind the plate. Adam Rosales at 3rd. Alexi Amarista moves over to the shortstop side as Alexei Ramirez gets the night off. And the pitcher is Colin Ray. And we're underway. The first pitch from the right-hander, Jared Eichhoff.
And the scouting report for Jared Eichhoff. This guy's got a fastball, curveball, slider, and a changeup. He's got some serious upside.
Only 25 from Evansville, Indiana, Eichhoff.
There's the repertoire. Extreme fly ball pitcher and not overpowering. But along with Aaron Nola and Eichhoff, that's a nice 1-2 punch for the Phillies.
Jay fouls that away. Eichhoff came over mid-season trade last year that sent Cole Hamels to the Texas Rangers. In 4.5 years in the minor leagues, Eichhoff had an outstanding 44-27 record. 1-2. A breaking ball taken, strike 3. 1 away to Corey Spanchenberg. A check of the Philadelphia defense with Hunter Herrera and Borges in the outfield. On the infield at the corners, Franco and Howard. Up the middle, Galvis and Hernandez, with Rupp behind the plate for Jared Eichhoff. He's a stocky 6'4" and 247-pound right-hander. Fouled by Spanchenberg, who had a rough night last night, a couple of strikeouts and a couple of errors. Lance Barksdale calling the balls and strikes tonight, with Little, Barrett and Hernandez on the bases.
I was talking to some of the Phillies announcers before the game. Former Padre Ben Davis, who does color for the Phillies, and Tom McCarthy. And they said they love Aaron Nola, but there's Tom on the right and Ben, former #1 pick for the Friars, on the left. They said the upside for Eichhoff is much better. They're expecting better things from Eichhoff than they are Nola. That's how much upside they have from this kid. They say he's going to get a lot better.
9 starts in the big leagues. Eichhoff with a 2.73 ERA. That would rank 8th in Major League Baseball. That breaking ball is sharp. That just missed. 2-2.
That's a good one right there.
Matt Kemp on deck. Pulled to the right side, past Howard. Pitcher has to cover, and he's there in time before 1 putout, as second baseman Hernandez able to fire it to Eichhoff, covering. 2 away. Check of the weather. 55 degrees at game time. Expected to drop down to about 45 by the end of the game. And we're pleased that you've joined us here, and hope you'll be with us tomorrow morning, 10 o'clock, for our TV time here on Fox Sports San Diego, as the Padres wrap up this road trip. A win tonight would assure a winning road trip. You can always mark that in the plus column. Matt Kemp had that huge series in Colorado. A base hit last night in 4 trips. No Padre had ever in the first 5 games hit 3 home runs and 10 runs batted in until Kemp this year. into the shift and over the shift for a base hit. Line drive base hit for Matt Kemp with 2 outs here in the first.
Well, I mentioned that John Jay in our open about how if he has an at-bat that doesn't go his way, he will share information with the rest of the hitters. Now, this is a fastball. It's down the middle. It's about above the knees, but Matt Kemp is all over it. Nice short, quick stroke, not a long stride. But the thing is, though, he saw that ball nicely, and you might see these Padre hitters swing at that fastball early to avoid the curveball because he's got a good one.
Will Myers back in the cleanup spot. Last night did not start, did pinch hit, but struck out in the 7th inning. Couple of home runs on this road trip for Will, and he hits this one right at the center fielder Herrera. Barely had to move. That's it for the Padres. Top half of the first. Cesar Hernandez will lead it off for the Phillies. This 4-game series at Citizens Bank Park in South Philly. Padres get a base hit from Kemp, but nothing on the run side. As we check the Philadelphia Phillies lineup, brought to you by Hyundai. Cesar Hernandez, then Odubel Herrera had the big triple last night. Michael Franco, maybe their best hitter. Ryan Howard, the aging long ball hitting first baseman. Cameron Ruppert behind the plate hitting 5th. Then Freddie Galvis, Cedric Hunter, San Diego Padre draft pick a few years ago, Peter Burgess, and the pitcher Eichhoff. Against Colin Ray. Lanky 6'5" Ray from Cascade, Iowa, ready to deliver his first pitch. Bunted foul.
Well, the right-hander Scott, I stand corrected, Mr. and Mrs. Ray. Colin Ray, the scouting report, aggressive with all of his pitches, grip and rip the curveball. Mentioned that about Robbie Erlin, not just guiding it, throw it with authority. In spring training, Darren Ballsy said he had some good command with his fastball. Hopefully that carries over in tonight's second start.
Like the Padre notes, Josh Issue and company, you can't spell Ray without ERA.
Nice. That's right.
2 strikes to Hernandez. It's the 8th career start for Ray. 9 starts for, or 10th now tonight for his opposing pitcher Eichhoff. So a couple of young right-handers dueling tonight in this cool Philadelphia evening. 2-2. Against Colorado, Ray lasted just 3 1/3. And sporting those blue laces. Allowed 5 runs and 6 hits. But that was a game where the Padres racked up 13 runs and a 13-6 win. Line drive past the diving Rosales. Quickly fielded by Upton. He'll get it in. He was shading toward the line, and that takes away the extra base hit. Solid single, Hernandez.
Well, the one thing I've noticed in the first 2 games here in Philadelphia, the first 4 hitters, they've got some talent. And when they start spraying the field like that with all those hits, The shift was on. Rosales, a nice effort, but way off the line. I'm talking way off the line. So Hernandez beats that shift. He stayed inside that ball nicely. They know that Colin Ray throws the ball hard, so anything away, they're going to try to take it that way.
Center fielder Odubel Herrera hitting .250. Had a big triple last night that knocked in the first run of the game against starter Robbie Erlin, the only run given up by Erlin in the 6th inning, and then they got a couple bonus runs in the 8th for the 3-0 win.
And if you're the Phillies, I'm thinking, Dick, right out of the gate, maybe put something in action, maybe put that runner in action, try to get on the board early. Everybody's heads up. Colin Ray thinking maybe Bethancourt's got to be on his game as well.
Rosales in on the grass at 3rd. Infield back looking for 2. And the take high. Well, we went down to the manager's office before the game. Well, he's going to call out a strike. And Andy Green had a big cauldron in there, and he was throwing in some Gatorade, a couple of rosin bags, a splintered bat, and he's just trying to brew some runs tonight. We got to score some runs.
A little witch's brew,
Yeah.
some Eye of Newt, maybe. Anything to get a run.
That's right. Have a bacon, lettuce, and tomato sandwich, anything in there. Hot dog. There goes the runner, fouled away. He got a terrific break. Fortunate for the Padres, fouled off. He would have had that one stolen.
Well, there you have it. Top of the lineup on base, trying to create something. I really like the nice setup they have here. Hernandez, Herrera, Franco, Howard. Obviously longest in the tooth there, batting 4th.
Hit on the count, 2 strikes. Just missed. Outside.
Let's see if Colin Ray incorporates the changeup tonight. He's got a split change grip. He's pretty much known for that fastball and curveball, and you see the line on his last start against the Rockies.
90 pitches and didn't get through the 4th inning. We had him leaning.
Yeah, we saw Robbie Erlin throw that changeup, Dick, right? And it came into play big time for the lefty.
That was the big plus last night, Erlin's pitching.
Yeah.
He's fighting to
fun
get
to
a
watch.
regular spot in the rotation.
Got a game break coming up. Stay tuned. Rangers, Mariners.
Seattle, 5 straight losses at home to start the season.
Throw over to first base. Bethancourt flipping the thumb there, indicating throw over to first. In the old days, I think that was put him on his backside, right?
Yeah, that was flip him. Up and in.
Yeah.
Of course, they don't do that anymore.
No. Curveball.
Well, this inning off to a sluggish start.
See Bethancourt looking up at the hitter, see if he's peeking at the signs or location.
Runner goes. Bounced right to second base. That's 1. Back to first. Double play. Thank you very much. Room service indeed. Right to Amarista. Led him to the bag for an easy 6-3 double play. And a look at the rest of the Padres defense brought to you by your San Diego County Ford dealers. Amarista at short with Spangenberg his double play partner at second. Rosales at third. Myers handling first base. In the outfield, Upton in left. Kemp in right, and Jay patrol center. Bethancourt behind the dish for right-hander Colin Ray. Michael Franco hitting .346. This young guy looks as if he's got all-star written on his resume very quickly. He takes a lot of pitches. In fact, he's number 1 in the league in seeing pitches.
Chopper.
Couldn't hit a fungo double play chance any better than that, could you?
Beautiful.
And the big thing for Amarista to keep his eye on the ball and not watch the base and the runner. To triple vision. Nearly 40%
of Franco's hits in his 2-year major league career. Extra bases.
Yeah, he's got a pretty good idea at both ends of his game, defensively and offensively.
Hit a couple of dandy plays with a glove in game 1. Just 23 years of age from the Dominican Republic. Takes outside 1-2.
Looked like a little cut fastball. Colin Ray has thrown him a changeup. It was about a couple pitches ago. It was a nice pitch. That ball had a little cut away to it. Here comes the hammer. Oh, what a difference a couple days makes, huh? Opening day, this place is packed. Hump day on a Wednesday in Philly, and people are bundled up, but not a lot of people came dressed as seats tonight.
Not quite as cold as last night because the wind at least is just modest. There's a drive to deep left field, and that's going to put the Phillies on the board. A home run. Maikel Franco, his second of the season. Just remember that name, Maikel Franco. He's going to be a star.
Yeah, you know, pitching at the big league level, putting the hitters away is going to be a challenge for any type of pitcher, especially a rookie pitcher in the big leagues. And Franco, he definitely capitalizes on that mistake. 2-2.
107 miles an hour on contact. Ryan Howard steps up. Number 2 all time in Philadelphia baseball history, Philly history, in home runs and RBIs. Fouls off the first pitch. 359 long balls and over 1,130 RBIs. Second in both categories to the Hall of Famer Mike Schmidt. It doesn't work the weekday games. You win your Hall of Famer just Saturday, Sunday. When you go in the Hall of Fame, it just works on the weekends. You know? He wouldn't like that. You'd miss not being in the booth.
Miss being away from the yard. Hey, thank goodness the Padres turned that double play right there. A solo shot.
That saves a run. 2 strikes to Howard. Now 36. Strike 3 called. So Ray has his first strikeout, but the Phillies have the first run thanks to Franco's home run. Oh, I like that hyperactivity back there. He must be into his 5th cup of coffee. We had to give Sweeney some. You know, he didn't sound interested. Fun. Hubba hubba back there.
Yeah.
Melvin Upton and Christian Bethancourt and Adam Rosales in the top of the 6th, top of the 2nd, and it's a 1-0 game. Wow. That didn't take long, and Upton takes the long walk. 2nd strikeout for Eichhoff, and a look at the keys to the game tonight, brought to you by your San Diego Honda dealers.
Well, here's what I got going. Patience at the plate. Have a good plan at the plate. Work the count a little bit. You might see these guys swinging at that fastball because Eichhoff has one heck of a curveball we've seen early on, and jump on him early. Jump on him. Apache, jump on it. Go Sugar Hill gang on.
Bethancourt takes outside. 2 for 5 in his brief appearances in the new year. Out of play. Just to review, Padres acquired Bethancourt in the offseason. A.J. Preller, attracted to the potential of this big guy, sent Casey Kelly, the right-handed pitcher, and minor league catcher Ricardo Rodriguez to Atlanta. Curveball had frozen. 1-2.
He's calling that high strike curveball. He's been consistent with that. Lance Barksdale, the home plate umpire.
Sometimes those high strike curveballs can be hit a long way. Nothing yet. A single by Kemp. Ground ball into the shift. Hernandez over on the shortstop side to throw him out. 2 away to Adam Rosales. Rosales 3 for 9. A couple of RBIs. Padres Mr. Hustle, Rosales.
Yep.
On that cutter. High fly ball off first. Howard may have a play. Does. And it's a 1-2-3 inning for Jared Eichhoff. Middle of the 2nd. 1-0 for the home side.
Phillies lead 1-0 as we head to the bottom of the 2nd. Well, when it comes to starting pitchers, Colin Ray and Andrew Cashner. You could not possibly find two guys that are more completely and totally different. Colin Ray, very quiet and serious most of the time, and Andrew Cashner, very gregarious and keeps things loose. He's basically everyone's best friend. Well, he's kind of taken Colin Ray under his wing, and every time Colin Ray has a start, he will stand at the top step of the dugout cheering him on, hooting and hollering, as he says, for every strike he throws. And Colin is very grateful for this friendship that's become more of a mentor relationship. And Cashner says the best piece of advice that he gives him, he says, don't think, just pitch. He says he sees a lot of himself in young Colin Ray, and he says he enjoys being a mentor to him.
Yeah, that's a nice thing to bond. There's a veteran with the rookie pitcher, basically. You know, it's that old saying, don't think too much, you hurt the club.
Absolutely. And for a young pitcher to have a veteran guy like Andrew Cashner, that goes a long way for your confidence level as well.
Line drive right field off the bat of Cameron Rupp. Kemp hustles to the line and gets the throw in. That'll hold Rupp to a long single. That's the third hit now for the Phillies.
And you know what? It's easy to do what Andrew Cashner is doing when you're winning 20 games, right? And you're having an ERA of 2. But when you're having the year like last year for Andrew Cashner, he was snake bit quite a time. You know, times he threw bad pitches. Everybody does. But you know what, though? He's being positive, and he's trying to rub off on Colin Ray to keep that positive attitude, and that's a good thing.
That really is. That's an excellent point. That when you're the big star and you're winning every time you go out, it's nice to pat everyone on the back. But as a team guy, you set aside your personal record and you care about your teammates, and particularly here, Colin Ray. The batter is Freddie Galvis, switch hitting shortstop. Manager Pete McCannon suggesting rather strongly that Galvis, off to a slow start, should use a heavier bat. You'd think a smaller guy that you'd want a light bat, and that's how he feels comfortable. This feels he doesn't need to swing hard, just get a heavier bat and let contact take care of itself.
So heavier bat, kind of play a little game of pepper rather than over swinging with a lighter bat. You can see that. Interesting concept.
He led the team in base hits last year, but off to a slow start. 6 for 31. 3-1. Cedric Hunter, left fielder, on deck. Ball 4, so the first 2 men are on for the Phillies here in the second.
MLB.TV Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service, delivers everything you have come to expect and more. Watch every out-of-market game live in HD on over 400 supported devices. Includes a free subscription to @Bat Premium, the #1 app for live baseball. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV for details.
Now, the Phillies have averaged only 3 runs a game, 24 runs in their 8 games so far, and part of the reason is the lower end of the order has not been very productive, but they've got a single and a walk out of Rupp and Galvis. And a ground ball foul. You take Galvis, Hunter, and Borges, the 6, 7, and 8 hitters. They're 12 for 76 so far this year, so hitting well under 200. Manager McCannon hoping they can get into the hit parade here. You're not going to win a lot of games when you only average 3 runs a game on the season.
And if Colin Ray sticks to the scouting report and executes, he should have no problem with the bottom of this lineup. A big inning right here. Multiple base runners and nobody out.
Hunter is just 2 for 21. It's that one to left field. Coasting toward the line is Upton, tagging, but no advance by the runners. Good throw coming in from Upton, and there's one away. That'll bring up Peter Borges, 4 for 24. Well, 2-3 years ago, remember the Padres lineup had 2 outfielders hitting 7 and 8. Not a good sign when your outfielders are way down in the batting order.
Yeah, you want those power guys, potential power guys that are outfielders, to be up in the order cleaning stuff up, right?
Out of play. Pitcher Eichhoff on deck. ball and a strike. We mentioned the other night, Borges has ties through his father with the San Diego Padres. His dad is a scout. Chris. Ground ball, one hop, should be two. There's one, back to first base. A double play, and it had to be quick because Borges can run. But a good one hopper to Amarista, Spangenberg, and on to Myers. Back-to-back double plays, first and second inning. That erases a potential big inning for the Phillies.
And the Phils lead the Pods at 1-0. Saturday, it's an MLB on FS1 doubleheader as the defending AL East champion Blue Jays take on David Ortiz, Big Papi, and the Red Sox. Then it's an NL East battle between the Braves and the Marlins that you can see only on FS1. It all starts Saturday, 12:30 Pacific on FS1, or watch it live on Fox Sports Go. Get your baseball fix on Fox.
It's a triple header with the Padres at home against Arizona on Saturday, a 5 o'clock start on Fox Sports San Diego. Padres Live, the pregame show. It'll be Cashner against Shelby Miller of the D-backs. Alexi Amarista hitting 8th. 1 for 5 since being recalled from El Paso with the injury to Jan Solarte. Positive reports on Solarte, at least initially, recovering from that hamstring pull. Drive into right center field. That's going to fall for a base hit. Amarista leadoff hit as the Padres go after that 1-0 Phillies lead. That'll bring up Colin Ray. I'll be asking him to move that runner along.
The sacrifice bunt. That is a category that I'd like to see the Padre pitching staff lead in the National League, right?
Yeah, Andy Green certainly, that was a emphasis throughout spring training for everyone. For the regulars with speed to try to bunt for base hits. Nothing wrong with those. Arizona led in bunt singles. Green was instrumental in that coaching over the D-backs a year ago. And for the pitchers, got to help yourself out. And there's a good bunt.
Nice.
Perfect. Covering is the second baseman, and moving to second base is Amarista. Perfect.
You know, if you bunt that ball towards the end of the bat, it deads it perfectly. Sometimes with the infielders crashing, you hit that sweet spot, it'll trampoline off that bat and go right to it. They got a good chance of maybe getting the runner at second base, especially if that runner is fast, but that was perfectly placed.
So John Jay, the leadoff man, trying to increase his hitting streak. 9 straight to start the season. Took a third strike his first at bat. Amarista the tying run at second with 1 out here in the third. 91 on the fastball.
Dick, you made a good point earlier. Eichhoff is not going to overpower these Padre hitters. You know, try to spot that fastball. That one was at 91, but up, and then he's got that good curveball.
Both pitchers tonight were not early round selections in the draft. They were both in the 2011 draft. There's the breaking ball. Colin Ray was picked in the 12th round, and Texas didn't take Eichhoff until the 15th round. And here they are in the big leagues. Slicing toward the crowd down the left field side.
I don't know if it's by design, but I've just discovered something with Eichhoff and John Jay. You know, I think the MO for John Jay is hit hard grounders, hard line drives, right? Those two fastballs I said that have been up and away, and that's a good, and then the outfield shifting that way. So, you know, the chances of John Jay hitting a home run the opposite way, very, very rare. So maybe he's trying to work up and away so he can hit that fly ball to left.
10 games is the longest hitting streak to begin a season for a Padre. Upton last year, Joyner, Fernandez, and Moreland. 8 in a row for Jay. Oh, a jam there. Count your fingernails. 1-2. Corey Spangenberg to follow here in the third. The Padres with a tying run out at second.
Oh, that's great.
Never fails. Yep. Talk about a smile maker. Check swing. Big break on that.
It sure does. And it's not a lollipop curveball. It's got some bite to it.
See there that you have more success. This is pretty much true with any good pitcher. You get to them early, but boy, after the third inning, they get tougher.
Significantly. Get in that cruise mode, get the feel for that curveball, locating the fastball. Now, as a base run, we see Amarista. He knows that the shortstop, Galvis, way off the bag. Hernandez also way off the bag. Now Galvis is starting to creep over a little bit. And that spin move. As a runner, you have to know where those infielders are. You're getting help also from Glenn Hoffman, the third base coach.
Another breaking ball inside. Full count. Get on the board here after the 3-0 shutout loss last night. And another strikeout. Jay has gone down twice. Third in the game for Eichhoff.
Oh, I noticed adjustments from Eichhoff. The pitch prior to this one was down by the shoe tops and in. This one has got good break, but catches more of the plate and more of the zone. John Jay really has no choice but to protect and swing at that one. That's a good curveball.
Spangenberg pulled one between Howard, the first baseman, and the second baseman Hernandez the first time, and Hernandez made the play to the pitcher. 4-1. Spangenberg with 8 RBIs, second to Matt Kemp. There goes the runner all the way through the catcher to the screen, and Amarista won't be able to advance beyond third. Stolen base. Had it stolen easily. Cameron Rupp unable to block the ball, and That's just a little reminder for Amarista. The fact that you can make that steal a third productive, you might get another ball in the dirt.
Secondary lead. He is off and running. Easy steal the third. And look at how quickly he gets back up to his feet and puts the pressure on the Phillies to get that ball in towards home plate.
There's that big curveball. Boy, that's a tough one.
Dick, here's what we're going to have to keep an eye on when Eichhoff is out there tonight. Early fastballs, are they going to hack at it? And you see a little bit of MLB history right here.
Just think of that. 53 years since a team was shut out 4 times in their first 8 games. Padres, unfortunately, have fallen into that category. One and two. Kemp would be next. Tying run 90 feet away. Amarista leads down the line. And another strikeout. Put out at first base. And Eichhoff, with that tying run in scoring position, strikes out Jay and Spanchenberg. Michael Franco's home run in the first inning. The only score, 1-0, as we go to the last of the third. Pitcher Eichhoff will lead it off. Then Hernandez and Herrera. Eichhoff has a double in 2 at-bats this year. You see those 2 RBIs. Ground ball nicely gloved by Myers, fading away, and the put out 3-1. The 2 RBIs came in Eichhoff's very first major league start. He not only pitched 5 shutout innings, but knocked in 2 runs. A rare feat.
Good athlete. Swings the bat well, and that's a feather in anybody's cap. If a pitcher can just make solid contact majority of the time, avoid the strikeout.
Cesar Hernandez singled to left field to open the first inning and was erased on a double play.
Oh, the fanatic. Don't let him get near your popcorn. You better not go to the TV truck. Chiron Bob down there has got a big load of popcorn down there. Watch out.
He's a terrific mascot.
Well, Colin Ray will touch the mid-90s. That was a 94-mile-an-hour fastball there, but you have to locate that.
A ball and a strike, a changeup.
Nice pitching behind in the count with the combio. I love it.
Little cutter that slips off the outside edge. 2-1. Just above the knees. 2-2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Ray's second punch out. 2 away now in the third.
Tell you what, we're seeing some good hammers tonight. Right up on top, knuckle curve, right off the table, and a power curve as well. Eichhoff, Ray.
Uncle Charlie's here in Philadelphia. Well, let me check on one of the fans here resting up for the late innings. Odubel Herrera bounced into a 6-3 double play the first time. There's that curveball. 4.85 pitches per at bat for Herrera. That's the most in the National League. Second is Charlie Blackmon up in Colorado. So nearly 5 pitches for every time he steps in the batter's box makes the opposing hurler work.
Nice job. 9 of 11 first pitch strikes for Colin Ray. Nice. Oh, where'd that miss?
2-1.
Am I begging a little bit, Professor, on that last one?
Just a little off the
Really?
edge. Yep, there it
Okay,
is.
I stand corrected. That was a ball. Trying to
look at it with your heart now and then. That's okay. Broken bat shattered. Splinters land on the right side there, and
you know what that was? That was a changeup that he literally hit off the cupped end of the bat. Watch this ball out in front. He literally hits it off the end of the bat where it's cupped, and it sliced it right off the barrel of the bat. That's how effective the changeup is. Way out in front of it.
so he'll get a little stick him on that bat handle and come back to the plate with a count 2-2. One of the reasons that wasn't the case with that last fractured bat, but you go down that bat rack and you look at, I mean, the handles of the bats. I mean, they're toothpicks. They went all the way down on the barrel. This is going to be a very tough play for Spangenberg, and he can't get him. And that ball goes into the dugout, and on to second will go Herrera on Spangenberg's third error in the last 2 games.
Well, while we have a second, our Ram Trucks Tools of the Trade focuses on Maikel Franco. How to pitch to him. Now, the Padres have been pitching to him. How? Breaking balls away. Now, see the yellow square? That's the strike zone. See the crosshairs of the green? That's where the pitch is ending up. That's a called strike. The Padre pitching staff staying out of the heart. He likes to get extended. He likes the fastball. And it seems like, A, living on the edges, and 2, they're throwing some off-speed pitches, not being able to square it up. So a job well done by the Padre pitching staff.
Here's Franco, homered into the left field bleachers first time up. He's got a man in scoring position with 2 outs. And there's another base hit, and Franco's delivered again. That's going to go all the way to the 387 sign. Herrera scores easily. Franco has his second RBI, and the Phillies lead 2-0.
Well, Dick, you mentioned it, the home run in the first inning, the solo shot, it just caught too much of the plate. And what we just showed you does not bode well here because it's a fastball right down the middle. It leaks down the heart. He wanted to try to maybe two-seam it away to Franco, and that's a good-looking swing and a good result for the Philly third baseman.
You know, Franco in the spring, just to underline how this young talent is budding into a major player. In spring training, hit 9 home runs, 23 runs batted in all of the major leagues, #1. Whoa. Ryan Howard, the batter, in that first intentional wide one, almost to the screen. Struck out, took a third strike, his first time, Howard. taking any chances with his home run bat. He'll rather pitch to Cameron Rupp, who singled his first time. With 2 outs, would have guessed that Odubel Herrera would have scored from first base, even with the throwing error by Spangenberg. He'd have been running all the way, and that ball going all the way to the wall in left center. So probably will be ruled an earned run. Let's Motor Player Profile brought to you by BMW Mini. Ryan Howard all-time ranks second to Mike Schmidt in home runs and career RBIs as a Philly. 4th in slugging and extra base hits. He's had a fantastic career. Close to Hall of Fame.
He
numbers,
sure has.
But not quite.
Yeah, remember back when Ryan Howard was the guy, I mean, a big-time threat. He used to get intentionally passed all the time, so very rare now. The ground ball here, force at any base for the Padres to get out of this inning.
Foul at the plate. Rupp single to right field his first time. 2 runs, 5 hits. The big blows from Franco. Solo home run, his second of the year, and a double to left center to knock in another. So he has 5 runs batted in for the season. He stands at second, Howard at first. Phillies have had more success against the Padres than any other team since they built this ballpark in 2004. They're 56 and 25. They were 5-1 last year. Home and home series. That pitch count climbing rapidly. That's in there at 94. Former Texas Longhorn Rupp. Rosales will go the short way for the force. And that's it for the third. It's 2-0 Philadelphia.
Phillies lead 2-0 as we head to the top of the fourth. Well, tonight marks the last game of Lakers legend Kobe Bryant after a 20-season NBA career. A big fan of Kobe Bryant is Matt Kemp. He got close to Kobe when he was playing in LA, attended dozens of Laker games. And tonight, if you look closely, he will be wearing tribute batting gloves to Kobe Bryant, the Mamba himself, number 24. They're black with purple and yellow, the Lakers colors. Matt Kemp said he always admired Kobe's confidence. He said that was the sign of a big leaguer, his confidence. He said Kobe would come over to the sidelines and he would say, watch, I'm going to put up 30 points. Watch me right now. And you know what? He would go and do it.
Thank you, Julie. And that's absolutely the case with Bryant. What a great player, great shooter. And he believed in himself.
Oh, yeah.
He'd start shooting before they left the locker room.
And a local kid here, right? Lower Merion High School. Kobe Bryant, just out of Philly.
That ball to left center, but not hit very far. And angling in is the center fielder, Herrera, to make the play for the first down. Will Myers lined to center his first time. The news good on the farm at Lake Elsinore. Brandon Morrow, recovering from that shoulder surgery, was able to work 5 1/3 innings last night. Allowed 4 runs and 5 hits, but had 3 perfect innings to start. Looks as if by the end of this month of April, could be Brandon Morrow here, and Solarte should be back from his hamstring pull. John Edwards is improving, the relief pitcher.
Can never have too much pitching, that's for sure. And once again, we mentioned the first pitch swinging fastball. That's what Will Myers just did. His first at bat and there for the foul ball. So jumping on that heater early to avoid that curveball.
Back with the fastball inside is Jared Eichhoff. A couple of hits for the Padres. Kemp a single in the first, and Amarista a base hit in the third. Got around to third, but Eichhoff struck out Jay and Spangenberg to end the inning. There's that breaking ball in there again.
Yeah, that kind of looked like he dropped his arm angle just a little bit. It was a shorter breaker rather than that hard 12-6er. Here comes another breaking ball. Wow.
Uncle Charlie, hello. 5 strikeouts.
You talk about nose to toes. Look at this. Get up on top of it, spin it. That's good. The old knee bug. That'll do it to you.
They say down the dugout, that's dirty, huh?
Yeah.
Dirty good. Now that's again that language
right.
we talked about before. If I said to my mom, hey, Mom, that's dirty, she'd say, what are you talking about?
I watched it last night.
But now dirty is a compliment in this game.
In the Jazz world, hey, that cat is bad.
Yeah,
that means he's
good. Huh?
Yeah.
But he's not really a cat.
No, he's a dude.
Yeah. I love language. Lexicon.
Yeah.
Upton rips that into the left field corner. That's for extra bases. Hunter digs it off the wall, and cruising into second base is Melvin Upton. A 2-out double. A chance for the Padres to get on the board here in the 4th inning.
You know how we talk about sinker ball is you have to get that sinker up and go to Hacken. Well, with the breaky ball, what do they say? You hangy. Oh, and he will bangy. And he does just that. That breaky ball ends up above the belt. And what do you know? Melvin Upton Jr. is standing on second base with a double.
He's had a good road trip. He's continuing to be on base 50% of the time. 8 hits and 3 walks in 22 at-bats. Bethancourt could tie it up with 1 swing. Looking for his first long ball as a Padre. They shift on Bethancourt. Only Howard on the right side. And there's a strike off speed.
There's that shorter breaking ball as you take a look. Student body left.
Light breeze blowing out toward left field tonight. That one swings outside, 1-1. Grounded out into the shift, his first at bat.
Back.
And the throw goes into center field, but no advance as center fielder Herrera backing up the play.
That's a good way to get spiked. Going back into the bag, and the infielder has to jump for a high throw. Hey, watch your feet, watch your ankles, and your fingers. Let's take a look. Oh, yeah, he got spiked on the left
calf
there.
Nothing serious, ready to go. 1-2 to Bethancourt. Curveball hangs that time inside. Top of the fourth inning, the Padres trying to break this shutout string. Have a man at second. Upton, 2 outs. And the 2-2 pitch. Did he go? Yes, he did. Strike 3. 6 strikeouts for Jared Eichhoff. 2-0 Philadelphia. Yeah, that Cole Hamels trade with Texas produced several outstanding prospects. As we go to the bottom of the fourth inning, it'll be Freddie Galvis, Cedric Hunter, and then Peter Borges, along with Eichhoff. They have 3 other players rated in the top 100 in Major League Baseball on that prospect list. So they're building from within and with trades, and it looks like these young arms we're seeing, and we're going to see another tomorrow in Vincent Velasquez. He may be even better than the first 2. Galvez sends it right to Myers for the easy unassisted out. 1 away to Cedric Hunter. They got a right-handed pitcher, Jake Thompson. He's ranked 55th. And outfielder Nick Williams. They feel he'll be up by the time we get to July. And Jorge Alfaro a catcher, and he's also ranked in the top 100, all in that trade that sent Cole Hamels to Texas. Beautiful bunt. Let it roll. Well, no, Bethancourt gets him anyway. What a rocket that he threw to first base. Not many catchers can make that play. It looked as if that's about as perfect a bunt as you can lay down from Cedric Hunter. And Bethancourt pounces on it, but look at the strike he throws to first base.
Gets him by a quarter step. That is a P-Rod. He's got to get that baseball. See how quickly he turns that glove side shoulder towards first base. And I tell you what, that's got to be 90 plus on the gun, yo. That is a hose.
Saying, what do I have to do to get a base hit? I can't bunt it any better than that. Borges grounded into a 6-4-3 double play the first time. There's Derek Norris, who's used his legs well, not only behind the plate, but beating out infield hits. There's a good breaking pitch from Ray.
And you look at this bunt. Now, let's not forget the shift was on, right? Amarista was on the left side, the shortstop, so he's no way going to get to that. So Christian Bethancourt, he had to be perfect as well.
Popped up left side, third baseman Rosales. Whoa, my goodness. What's happened to the Padres? They dropped one last night. They drop another tonight. He appeared to be staggering under that all the way, as if he really didn't get a good beat on it, and winding up at second base is Borges on a two-base error. Second error of the night for the Padres.
You know what? I think it wouldn't have been a bad idea for Alexi to call him off. See how he's backpedaling a little bit? And Alexi's just
I got it, though.
Hanging back there. He does say he's got it. Yep, catchable ball, no doubt about it. That hurts.
Fourth error in the last 12 innings committed by the Padres. Hopefully it won't hurt them as Eichhoff fouls that off first. Myers may have a play. No, can't get to the railing. Wasn't hit high enough for Will to get over there and reach in that first row. Eichhoff grounded to first his first time.
Now, given the way the free outs, any ball club can't afford to do that.
Last night, a 20-25 mile-an-hour gale blowing here at Citizens Bank, and that created the havoc for Spangenberg on a high pop fly on the right side, but that one seemed pretty routine. Wind certainly wasn't a factor. One strike to count. Ground sharply to short. Bobbled by Amarista. Throws not in time. Home plate. Myers, and they get him.
Thank goodness.
Goodness, that would have been disastrous. A couple of errors, but it doesn't cost the Padres. Myers had to throw a strike himself, and Bethancourt able to make the tag on the sliding Borges. With his speed and 2 outs, he turned third. He was going. Borges had beaten it out, but the out made Myers to Bethancourt, and it stays at 2-0. Top moments in MLB history brought to you by Geico. 1933, Joe DiMaggio, a 19-year-old outfielder, first season with the San Francisco Seals. In only his second month in the Pacific Coast League, Joe's bat erupted, hits in 61 consecutive games. Didn't just break the minor league record of 49, he shattered it. Joltin' Joe would go on to smash the major league record, as you know, with his 56-game hitting streak in 1941, breaking Wee Willie Keeler's 1897 mark of 44 in a row. Joe DiMaggio gave a hint of what was ahead in the major leagues as a rookie in the PCL with a 61-game hitting streak. First pitch swinging. Rosales is a 1-3 victim, and Eichhoff has an easy first out. That'll bring up Marista, who singled his first time. Now that would have been disastrous for the Padres, trailing 2-0 to give up a third run on a couple of errors, but Myers firing a perfect throw to Bethancourt right on the home plate area, and that snuffed out the slide of Cedric Hunter. Over in the American League today, the Angels beat the Oakland A's 5-1. That's an interesting division, the AL West. They don't have a team with a winning record.
You'd think a team like Texas would come out of the gate very hot, but not the case.
They're 5-5. Angels are 5-6. Oakland 4-6. And Houston off to a slow start.
Got some serious Padre fans showed right there. We've got the camo jersey. We've got the late 1980s or 1990s rather hat. Got the current hat. They're hoping the Pods can turn it around.
2-1. There's that curveball. That's old reliable for Jared Eichhoff. Well, as long as we're talking about San Diego fans, they are our Fan Diego fans of the game. Little soft fly ball right to Galvis. 2 away. That'll bring up Colin Ray. Speaking of the jerseys and the San Diego Padre gear, they've announced the uniforms for the All-Star game for the Home Run Derby and the warm-ups. Kind of interesting. And they're using the brown and gold Padre theme. There will be the American League, and you can see there's a sample Twin Cities there in the Minnesota, and they'll have LA there for the National League.
I like it. I've always loved that color combination. In the font on the jersey from the early 80s jersey.
And lowercase N and A. 1-1 to Ray, sacrificed the first time. Of course, we'll see that All-Star logo throughout our city as we approach the Mid-July Classic. High, 2-1. These young pitchers for the Phillies, not only talented, they don't walk many. Way down in number of walks allowed. Strike 2. Aaron Nola, hard luck loser in the opener, 4-3. He pitched well, and the same for the veteran Charlie Morton last night. And here you see Eichhoff bending in another. 7 strikeouts for this 25-year-old right-hander. Halfway mark on this one, 4.5 in the books. 2-0 Phils. Welcome back. Time for our Harrah's game summary, and it features one player, Maikel Franco. Long home run in the first inning, his second of the year. In the third inning, after Herrera's infield hit, Spangenberg throwing error. Herrera to second. That brings up Franco again, and bang, left center field alley. RBI double, and Franco and the Phils have a 2-0 lead. Bottom of the fifth. First ball hunting and a high fly ball left field, and taken care of by Upton, and Hernandez is 1 for 3 tonight. First ball hunting, both teams.
Yep.
Odubel Herrera, the center fielder, grounded into a double play, and then the infield hit to second base that you just saw. Well, the Padres guilty of 3 miscues in the field. Two errors last night. Strike at the knees. 93. Well, the Phillies, by all the pundits, picked to finish last in the National League East. It's going to be interesting to see how this team grows with these young players. They've sacrificed maybe a season or two to build a new, maturing club. And you can see some talent, especially on the mound.
That's what Larry Boa said yesterday when we had a little chat. He said, we're going to try to get through this year, as we take a look at the former Padres skipper and bench coach now. Trying to get through this year where it's really not that bad of a year, because these guys believe in themselves, they're young, and they've got a good little core. Pete McCann, the full-time manager now. Last year he took over.
Well, they basically have traded away, or some of the great players from their World Series teams have departed. The double play combination of Rollins and Utley, they're gone. Hamill to Texas. Victorino, Shane Victorino was a key player in the outfield. Jason Worth was on that World Series champion team. 2-2. One out, bases empty here in the bottom of the fifth. The Phillies with the only runs of the game. Strike 3 called, emphatically called by Lance Barksdale. And that's strikeout number 3 for Colin Ray.
Hey, Padre fans, if you can't watch the games on TV, what do? Well, you can now stream games live on your mobile device. Just go to your app store and download the free Fox Sports Go app. Log in and stream the Padres wherever you go. Don't miss a game. Don't miss a pitch.
Noise.
Paper snap of confidence, Professor.
Oh, is that
you got to
what that
sell
is?
it. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Snap it. Franco, the man tonight, 2 for 2. Home run and RBI double. He went hitless last night, 0 for 4. But had 3 hits in the Monday night game. Monday day game, the opening game of the home season. All right, Ray's ahead on the count, 2 strikes. So what do you feed him here?
Hey, you got to bounce something or go out of the zone. Do not throw him a fastball for a strike. Don't throw him a breaking ball for a strike. See, he wants the fastball up, and he's shaking off. Change up, curveball, flip a coin.
Franco backs out of the batter's box.
Slider. Inside part of the plate. Cutter.
Got him.
See? Ball. Swung on and missed.
1-2-3 inning for Colin Ray, his first 3-up, 3-down frame of the night. Fox Sports San Diego presents Padres Baseball, brought to you by Saquon Casino. Sign up for the new Padres Club Card today. By Jack in the Box, taste the Bacon-licious Sourdough Bacon Ranch Combo. And by Mercury Insurance. We're on a mission to save you money. Log on to mercuryinsurance.com today. Oh, the Philly cheesesteak, huh? You had one while you've been here?
I have not, but look at the line at Gino's. That line keeps on moving very quickly. I'll take mine, Whiz Wit. That means cheese whiz with onions.
Whiz Wit?
Yeah, that's how you order it. Whiz Wit.
I thought that man was wit in the back of the restaurant there. Well, the Padres trail 2-0, and this game moving along at a rapid pace. We're in the top of the 6th inning. John Jay leads it off for San Diego. And a bouncer right back to the mound. That was on its way to center field. Jay retired 1-3 as we go down to Julie Alexandria.
Well, as you guys just showed, of course, big debate here in Philly. Who has the best cheesesteaks? Is it Tony Luke's? Is it Gino's? I asked the guys in the clubhouse, I said, where do you go to get the best cheesesteaks here? Unanimously, hands down, not even a dispute. Every single guy agreed. The chef in the visitors clubhouse here at Citizens Bank Park, to them, makes the best cheesesteak. So they get it after the game. Definitely not something you want to have before the game, of course, but after the game, such a treat here in Philly.
All right,
so
Julie,
good.
you stay away from that line now. Ground ball up the middle. Long range for Galvis, can't get there. And Spangenberg rolls one into center field. And that'll bring the tying run to the plate. Fourth hit off Jared Eichhoff.
That's good eating right there. Kevin Steinauer, the clubhouse manager, runs a great clubhouse down there. Good staff.
Yeah, the food in the Major League clubhouses, it's extraordinary. They don't just have somebody, you know, throwing a hot dog on there and some potato chips. I mean, you're getting, you're getting fed. Get everything but linen napkins down there.
Hey, one swing of the bat, and the Pods are tying this one up.
Kemp, a line single and a fly ball to shallow center. Late on that swing, 92 fastball. That's about top velocity for Eichhoff. One and one. Bluffed by Spangenberg. Check on catcher Cameron Rupp.
Comes the curveball. See Matt Kemp out in front of it just a little bit. I tell you what, it's got to be tough as a hitter. You've got that curveball because he's throwing it for strikes. You know, Mark Sweeney talks about eliminating a pitch. Now, if he's throwing his curveball and he's thrown, let's say 20 of them and 3 are strikes, you're going to spit on that pitch. But he's throwing it consistently for strikes. So you got to have that in the back of your mind. And then that 92 comes and it's like you're late at pulling the trigger.
He's only had 1 or 2 3-ball counts. Outside, 2-2. We were thinking that Spangenberg might be going there. Called the pitch up.
I remember back in the day playing for Roger Craig, he would call back-to-back pitch outs, even in a count like this, 2-2.
He goes. Ground ball left side, easy chance, 2 hops for Franco. Spangenberg going right on to third, and will make it without a throw. So first to third on the ground out.
Okay, he is off. Pitch is swung on, third base. He stays on his feet. As soon as that ball is let go, he's off again. That's what speed can do for you.
Galvis came over to cover for the third baseman Franco after he made the play at first. So with 2 outs, the Padres have a chance to cut into that 2-0 lead. It's up to Will Myers. Myers has lined to center and took a 3rd strike.
You know, I thought, call me crazy, I'm probably wrong, but I thought Howard maybe pulled his foot a little bit too quickly on that one first base.
Well, it's a talent. The first baseman learned that you can fudge a little bit. Not that he needed to there. It was an easy play. Breaking balls hangs high. Spangenberg taking a good lead as the pitcher is ready to go, and just in case one gets away from the catcher Rupp.
That's that slider, that shorter breaking ball that we've seen out of the hand of Eichhoff. Not as effective as that curveball tonight, that's for sure. Oh, that's beauty, isn't it though?
And it's about 15 to 18 miles an hour slower. So how do you get ready for both? You know, when you set for the curveball and then boom, that 90-mile-an-hour fastball looks pretty fast, doesn't it?
Sure does.
So 1-1 to Myers. 93 that time.
Stay tuned. We got a game break coming up. Red Sox, Orioles. Orioles, boy, they're flying high these days.
Unbeaten, 7-0. 1 3-ball count in the entire game for Eichhoff. Weak swing there.
3-1 breaking ball. I'm sorry, 2-1 breaking ball. Check that. 2-1 to go even, 2-2. That's confidence.
He's got the Padre hitters all twisted up. 7 strikeouts, no walks, 2-2 coming up. Swing and a miss, late swing there, and Myers has struck out for the 2nd time. The Padres, for the 2nd time tonight, leave a man at 3rd. Middle of the 6th, Phillies lead 2-0. Yeah, the combination of the pitching of Jared Eichhoff and the hitting of Michael Franco, and that's the story. 2-0 Phils as the middle three of Philly order will come up here in the 6th. Howard, Ruff, and Galvis. Ryan was intentionally walked the last time, struck out his first at bat. Eichhoff with no walks and 8 strikeouts, scattering 4 hits. Able to come up with the right stuff when the Padres have moved a runner to 3rd on 2 occasions. A reminder again, 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, the final game of this road trip. It'll be Drew Pomerantz against Vincent Velasquez. And Velasquez against the Mets on the weekend threw 6 innings of shutout ball, allowed only 3 hits and struck out 9. So the pitching was going to continue to be young and tough from the Phillies' end. Into the shift, Spangenberg patrolling shallow right, throws out Howard.
That's unbelievable.
The shift is eating up some hitters, and Howard's one of them. Time now for the Cholula flamethrower.
And with Colin Ray on the hill, 96, surprising everybody with some hot sauce. Need to clean up the defense a little bit and get the Shillelaghs going to help Colin Ray possibly get a win tonight, trailing by 2. So keep it up, Colin Ray.
Cameron Ruff singled to right and grounded to 3rd. High fly ball into the right field corner. Kemp into the corner, makes the catch as he crosses the foul line. A fair ball. Oh, just enough room for the veteran Kemp to squeeze his way into that corner and make the play. Last night, that might have been a different story with the wind blowing as it was. But tonight, it's when it is in effect, it's blowing toward left field, right at the 330 sign.
And that guy behind the glass says, "I want to talk to my lawyer." Nice catch there by Matt Kemp.
2 out, and the hitter is Freddie Galvis, a walk and a ground out.
Did you see the look on his face when Matt Kemp caught that?
Ground ball, Spangenberg, nice play, skidding on the grass, and it's a quick 1-2-3 inning for Colin Ray. He's now retired 7 in a row. We've completed 6 in Philadelphia. And time now for the Bill Howe play of the game, and Christian Bethancourt made a couple of beauties. Look at him scamper out from behind the plate and throw out. Hunter trying to butt his way on, and here Amarista, the throw gets away and come home, and look at Bethancourt. He has to do a full 180 to get it in front of that sliding Cedric Hunter. Or was that Peter Borges in that case? Borges, who was trying to score from second base. So not only taking a base hit away from Hunter trying to bunt his way on, but saving a run by that good catch, spin, and block.
Very athletic for a big frame in Christian Bethancourt, wouldn't you say?
Well, the totals after 6, fans. 2 runs, 5 hits, no errors for Philadelphia. No runs, 4 hits, 3 errors for the Padres. Melvin Upton leads off the 7th. Doubled his last time.
That last pitch was the slider from Eichhoff. He's broken that out the last couple innings. After throwing the big curveball, he's breaking out the slider. There's another slider.
Foul back. Upton, Bethancourt, and Rosales scheduled here in the 7th. Padres stuck in another scoreless inning run. Now it's 17 in a row. And yet another strikeout for Eichhoff, his 9th.
There's that pinpoint control with the fastball at 91-92 after the breaking balls. Tough to catch up. Starting to sound like a broken record, but it's a fact. Right on the outside corner.
Bethancourt has struck out and grounded out. Checking the Padres lineup. Only Kemp and Rosales and Amarista have not been victimized by the strikeout pitch. The career high for young Jared Eichhoff. This came up in the middle of the season a year ago after the trade, is 10 strikeouts. He's 1 away from matching that. 2-2.
Repeats his delivery nicely. The arm slot consistent, and there you see the breakdown. Being very efficient, working quickly as well.
Last night, the starter Charlie Morton worked 6 2/3 innings. He did give up some walks, but the other youngster, Aaron Nola, in game 1 did not walk a man. Eichhoff has not walked a man. They're not hurting themselves. They're throwing strikes with good stuff.
Likes to work quickly.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Ball not breaking, and for the 2nd time in the entire game, Eichhoff has gone to a 3-ball count.
Well, you know, I'm guessing with a 2-0 lead and Rosales on deck, fastball away right here.
That's what the sign is from Rupp. Good guess. And he spoils it, Bethancourt. Putting the ball right where he wants it.
He is. And you know what? I'm going right back with that. The outfield is shifted that way. Bethancourt to go out to field home run. Very unlikely. Outfield playing that way. So I'm guessing fastball away. Oh, he dropped the slider on him.
And he grounds it deep into the hole. Galvis is there. The long throw just in time. Bethancourt moves pretty well for a big guy.
He sure does.
So 2 out here in the 7th. That'll bring up Adam Rosales, who's fouled out and grounded back to the mound. And winning 4-3 on Monday night, the Padres scored the winning run on that safety squeeze in the 7th inning. So scoreless the 8th and 9th, shut out last night. They went out away from 18 consecutive innings without scoring a run. This team is pretty puzzling. They set a modern record with 30 consecutive shutout innings to start the inning. Then they go to Colorado and they scored 29 runs in 2 games, which the Padre team has never done before. Then they come here and squeak out a 4-3 win and haven't scored since. It is contagious. those bats producing base hits, and it seems to run in a wonderful cycle now. That's that very quiet time again for manager Andy Green. He's puzzled by it all. 2-1 now the count.
Here's our Andy Green getting Carlos Villanueva up in the Padres bullpen. He is heating up.
Right where he wanted it. Up the catcher. 2-2.
Andy did say that he was going to try to stay away from Quackenbush in hand. They've gone 2 days in a row, and this early in the season really don't want to try to go 3 days in a row.
High pop up behind home plate. We're up with the mask off. And it's a 1-2-3 7th inning for Jared Eichhoff. Very impressive.
As we head to the bottom of the 7th, Phillies lead 2-0. Well, ex-Padre Cedric Hunter hit his first major league home run against Cincinnati on April 6th. That was exactly 5 years and 2 days after he hit his first major league hit in 2011. Now the ball goes into the left field bleachers. A fan throws the ball back onto the field, and just before a ball boy can grab it and throw it back into the stands, first base coach for Philly, Mickey Moriarty, he grabbed it and said, wait. That was his first home run ball. I got to save it for him. So he grabbed it, gave it to him. Nice souvenir for Cedric Hunter.
All right, and it's Hunter leading off here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Line drive to left fielder Upton for the first out. That'll bring up Peter Borges. Eichhoff is due to hit third in the inning. The Phillies bullpen is busy. We'll see whether or not Eichhoff, he's now at 96 pitches, and perhaps his night is through. That would please the Padre hitters. Emmanuel Burris, who has pinch hit in this series, is in the on-deck circle. Borges grounded into a double play and was safe on Amarista's error the last time. Good breaking ball from Ray. So with all the struggles of the Padre hitters, we're forgetting to pound the drum for two young Padre arms. How about Robbie Erlin last night going 6 innings of 1 run, 3 hits, and Ray tonight just 2 runs and 5 hits.
Hey, Colin's throwing the ball extremely well tonight. No doubt about that. Let's not discount the young right-hander as David Hernandez heats up for the Phillies. He's got the good breaking ball working as well.
He's walked only 2, and 1 was intentional.
He's got a bright future. He's confident on the mound. Boy, if he could really hone in those fastball command strikes to each side of the plate. He's going to be a good one.
Franco has done all the damage with a home run and an RBI double, and there's a swing and a miss. Ball in the dirt, put out at first base, and strikeout number 5 for Ray. There's Robbie Erlin with the injury to Tyson Ross. Erlin called up from El Paso and picks up a win in Colorado. Allowed only 1 hit in 3 2/3 and came right back last night. Sterling effort. That's the good news.
Darren Balsley, the pitching coach, out to have a chat. Now, Emmanuel Burris was out on the on-deck circle. He is still out there. Nobody at home plate yet. Now he strolls towards home plate. Maybe just going over a little scouting report for Colin Ray.
So, Jared Eichhoff, 7 shutout innings. A terrific night for him. Padres will see if they can do some damage against the bullpen.
Boy, if Colin Ray can get a quick out here against Emmanuel Burris, 7 solid innings. Right now he's only at 85 pitches.
And the 2 runs allowed, the home run of course earned, but the double brought in the second run, and the Phillies benefiting from an error by Spangenberg, so that run is unearned. And Burris hit by a pitch.
Just wanted to bury the fastball in, got away from him a little bit, and hits him in the back.
Ryan Buchter in case. Hernandez 1 for 3. Burris has good speed, Mark.
Yeah, he sure does. One more out here and call it a night for Colin Ray. Nice night in the big leagues for the young right-hander.
He's due to hit second in the top of the 8th inning, so this undoubtedly is last inning. 2-0 Phillies.
Nice job. 23-27 first pitch strikes.
And there's another. So Eichhoff goes 7 innings, no runs, 4 hits, no walks, 9 strikeouts. Burris bluffs 1-1. In case you're joining us, Maikel Franco, a home run in the first inning, an RBI double in the third. That's been it. Colin Ray has not given up a base hit since that RBI double in the third inning.
Throw over.
Ooh, Ray almost got him.
You know what I like about that?
Good move.
Yeah, absolutely. Quick move. How he set for a long time. Because if a hitter, or if a runner rather at first base is a threat, they're going to get a little antsy over there. So the longer you hold, they might flinch a little bit. Slap tag Will Myers, and Burris gets back to the outside part of that bag quickly.
High and away, 2-1. 90 pitches now for Colin Ray. There he goes. Fouled away. Good play made by a fan.
That's why you bring your glove to the ball yard.
In the minor leagues, Burris has had some good stolen base years, over 20 a couple of times. Runner goes inside, throw Bethancourt in time. Boy, quick release, and he does have a powerful throwing arm. He erases the Brewers trying to steal. We've completed 7. Padres will bring up Amarista, pinch hitter, and Jay. Top of the 8th. They need 2 to tie. First baseman Myers gloves it. Better hurry. And Ray just does get there in time. After 7 in Philadelphia, 2-0 for the home team. wrapping up things after our Fox Sports San Diego Padre telecast. David Hernandez, the new pitcher, and the pitching change is brought to you by El Cajon Ford, a hard-throwing right-hander. Hernandez came in out of the bullpen last night. He pitched an inning, walked one and struck out one, no hits. Amarista takes a strike. He is singled and popped to short.
Yeah, as Mark Sweeney said, it's time to get on the bullpen because David Hernandez throws the fastball, curveball, changeup. Sure, he's got a little bit more velocity, but he doesn't have the hammer that Eichhoff has.
Trevor Jankowski is in the on-deck circle. Apparently he'll be hitting for Colin Ray. How about that? 7 innings, 2 hits, 1 earned run, and 5 hits, 1 earned run for Colin Ray, following Robbie Erlin. Line drive, left center field. The ball is dying in a hurry and falls for a base hit. Herrera plays it in, and Amarista 2 for 3 tonight, and that'll bring the tying run to the plate for the Padres.
To elaborate on right-hander Colin Ray, that is a good night in the big leagues, big boy. Ready to throw it? So we turn it over to Alexi Amarista and David Hernandez. That's a breaking ball, staying on it, letting it travel, and taking it the opposite way. That's a start.
Jankowski, a chance to show his major league stuff in front of family and friends. He's from nearby Lancaster, Pennsylvania. And squares and takes a strike. Jankowski appeared in game 1 and walked in the 9th inning. And takes strike 2.
Jankowski was just showing bunt on his own right there, just to kind of move the defense a little bit. Trailing by 2, swinging away right here.
Padres endeavoring to rally here in the 8th. 1-2 the count to Jankowski. Leadoff hitter John Jay, trying to extend his hitting streak to 9 games, is on deck. Hernandez missed all of the 2014 season, Tommy John surgery, and then returned last year with Arizona. Out of play. I'm reminded of a quote by Tommy John himself after he had the initial surgery to repair that left elbow. He said he told the doctors that he'd like to have a little bit, as long as they're going to put some new ligaments in there. How about some from Koufax? Have a little Koufax. He said the problem was they put Mrs. Koufax's.
That's a great quote.
And there's another strikeout as Jankowski takes the walk. 1 out. Top of the order, John Jay. Jared Eichhoff, 25 years of age. He's got big league stuff, and that curveball was just as sharp and in so much command of it.
He had the command of the fastball down and away to the righties. He had the curveball. He was knee buckling the righties. He was throwing it in the dirt when he was ahead in the count, making the chase. Tell you what, that 92-mile-an-hour fastball looked like 102, didn't it? Tough to catch up.
9 strikeouts and no walks, 4 hits, 3 singles and a double by Melvin Upton. That was it. Now here's Jay. He struck out twice and tapped to the mound. .95 just missed inside. Back with a strike at 92. They play Jay to hit to the opposite field. If he can pull the ball, big hole on the right side of the infield.
There's that hole you're talking about, Dick, right? On the right side.
A 3.5 hole. Good swing there. Laces that off the facing of the second deck. In the dirt. Good check. So again, to underline the fine pitching from Robbie Erlin and Colin Ray, the two youngsters. Erlin goes 6 innings, allows 1 run, 3 hits, and Ray 7 innings, 1 earned run, and 5 hits. Good enough for Andy Green to see a win on the board, but the offense has been quiet, silent, if you will. Ground ball. Howard knocks it down, goes to second, hits the runner, and everyone is safe. Amarista's okay. The throw by Howard into the back of Amarista, and there's a break for the Padres.
Well, Ryan Howard did everything right, but right on the eye, and Amarista did not create a throwing lane. The Philly first baseman. He's got to take a step that way to his left, so he's got a clear throwing lane. And excuse me, that was on the R in Amarista, not on the I. So a break for San Diego, getting that go-ahead run to the plate.
So 1 out to Corey Spangenberg. Ground out, struck out, and single to center the last time. Matt Kemp to follow. Sometimes it's the miscue that unlocks the gate. See if the Padres can run through it here in the 8th. That misses 2-0.
Okay, now late in the game, right? You're down by 2 on the road. You swing away. You're not bunting here. You're trying to drive them in, right? Play for the win on the road, play for the tie at home. That's what the book says. That's what the managerial book says. The unwritten book that we talk about all the time.
Late on that swing, 2-1. Spangenberg, when he's hitting at the top of his game, a lot of balls to the opposite field. He's been pulling the ball lately. And takes 3-1.
Yeah, walk would work quite nicely here.
Runners at first and second for the Padres. Only 1 out, and a 3-1 coming up.
Good back. Fastball right there, and Corey wants that one back.
Again, the final game of this road trip, 4th game of this series, tomorrow at 10 o'clock on Fox Sports San Diego. Drew Pomerantz will try to pick up his 2nd win as a Padre. Won the game in Colorado, and Vincent Velasquez shut out the Mets. Young right-hander will be on the mound for the Phillies. Full count. Way outside, and the bases are loaded. So it starts with a single by Amarista. The air throwing there Howard, and now a walk. And there's a Padre over every pillow with 1 out in the 8th. Spangenberg joining Jay and Amarista. So 3 good base runners aboard for Matt Kemp.
It's going to be interesting as we've got double barrel action going for the Phils and the Padres. Brandon Maurer hitting up. Hinojosa. And looks like Pete McCannon. Oh, I'm sorry, take that back. Bob McClure is a
former left-handed pitcher. This may be just a delay tactic to give the relief pitcher a chance to get a couple of more throws in. Delier Hinojosa.
Well, he's got a pitch to him now.
So bases loaded. Single, error, walk. And Kemp 1 for 3 in the game. 10 RBIs on the season. A career slam record, 6 with the bases loaded.
Oh, wouldn't that be sweet?
That would be a feel-good stroke.
I'm guessing they're going to keep the ball away from him this whole at bat.
Breaking ball hung on the plate, missed it.
That was a hanger.
Amarista, the tying run, Jay at second. The go-ahead score. Spangenberg with all his speed at first. Infield bat, looking for two. Breaking ball, 2 strikes on Matt Kemp. No shift here.
The last pitch dip was a good one.
And that was the hard slider.
Yep. Got to throw it out there again, huh? Hopefully he bounces it and a run can come across and get that next one in, or 2. He tried.
That's what he did. You're calling a good game tonight. You're on.
I just wish I had a little bit more offense tonight.
Just whisper in his ear. Now tell Matt Kemp what this next pitch is going to be.
You know, that'd be an interesting little nugget to find out a hitter's. Would you want to know what's coming?
Some hitters would say absolutely. Some say no, leave me alone.
Right.
I don't want to. They're afraid to get crossed up, get the wrong info. 1 ball, 2 strikes with the bases loaded. Matt Kemp trying to do some damage here. Down 2-0. Did he go?
I think he did.
He did. Strike 3.
It was the slider again. You betcha. He goes. 2 outs.
They can't score a run on and out. It's strictly up to Will Myers now.
See the rotation, tight, down and away, and a nice pick.
No question he went
Yep.
through on the swing. Myers is lined out and struck out twice tonight. Homered in game 1 of the series. Well, you get your 2-run producers up with the bases loaded in the 8th inning. You can't ask for more than that, but Kemp, a weak check swing for the strikeout. Padres are hitless in the last 11 opportunities with runners in scoring position. 0 for 11. Due. Overdue. Foul tip, 1-2.
Boy, good run on that fastball up and in. That's one of those as a hitter. It looks great out of the hand. Looks like a big fat one. Then all of a sudden it rides up and in.
Well off the plate, 2-2. Long inning for Hernandez.
And the thought process here for the pitcher, give him the opposite field. Nothing he can really pull to yank out of the ball yard.
And the inning comes to an end. Kemp and Myers strike out with the bases loaded, and the Phillies still hold a 2-0 lead. And welcome back. Bottom of the 8th inning. A disappointing result. The Padres got a little help from the Phillies. A walk and an error. Had the bases loaded. Two big swingers come up, and Matt Kemp and Will Myers both strike out against David Hernandez, who struck out the side. Ryan Buchter comes in to work the bottom of the 8th inning. Herrera Franco was knocked in both runs of the game. And then Ryan Howard.
Buchter through the 7th inning faced 4 hitters. 1 hitter got on via the error. That was Carlos Ruiz. He's got to hold him at 2 right here in the bottom of the 8th.
Herrera grounded into a double play, infield hit, and struck out. So a left-handed batter, Herrera. Franco hits from the right side, then Howard, a left-handed batter. But Pete McKenna, the manager, has been platooning, and we might see a right-handed hitter bat for Howard. Boy, late on that swing.
Jenmar Gomez, the closer, getting hot and getting ready.
Had only 1 save in his career, and it's 3 already this year. He's won the job. Buchter also a Philly fan growing up in Reading, Pennsylvania. 60 miles from here. Up to the west. So Spangenberg, Jankowski, and Buchter all playing in front of family and friends back in Philly.
A lot of talent coming from the Keystone State.
Misses outside. This date, April 13th, significant in another sport for San Diego. In 1970, the Masters title went to Billy Casper. In a playoff, he beat another San Diegan, Gene Littler.
Gene Littler.
Swing and a foul tip, strike 3. And also on this date, in 2009, the Phillies lost their voice. Harry Callis, the popular broadcaster in Philadelphia for 39 years, passed away. Heart attack in the broadcast booth in Washington.
He was a good one. They called him H around here, and he was loved by everybody.
They still play whenever the Phillies win in the postgame. Harry Callis singing, not necessarily on key, but singing with his heart. High hopes.
Yeah, it's great.
We lost another voice, a great voice in Michigan. And that was Paul Carey, who was Ernie Hartwell's colleague for 19 years in Detroit Tiger broadcasting. Befriended me when I went to Central Michigan, Mount Pleasant in 1952. Paul Carey was the announcer at this little radio station. And then a couple of years later, I applied for the custodial job, and I got to be the announcer.
Oh, nice.
I'm sure he got more than $1 an hour. That's what I was paid. But he was always a friend. Whenever I came home, he always said, "Come on down to the ballpark and sit with us, or come into the studio, watch me do my show."
Nice.
Paul Carey, great voice. In fact, one writer said if God had a voice, it would probably sound like Paul Carey. Will be missed. 2-1. Now 3-1 to Franco, who is the hitting star of the game. Home run in the first, RBI double in the third for all the scoring. Now with the count 3-1, Spangenberg jogs over to the shortstop side as Darren Balsley's keen eye on his pitcher, Ryan Buchter. Figure this guy's going to be swinging here. No, ball was away. 1 out walk. And a reminder, our game presented in HD by Sony. Ryan Howard has struck out, intentionally walked, and grounded on one hop to shallow right field where Spanshenberg was positioned to take a hit away. Shouldn't say grounded, it was a low line drive. Shift on. And Marista stays on the shortstop side with Rosales, the third baseman, swung into the second base position. Spanshenberg stays on the infield dirt. A ball and a strike. Looking ahead to the ninth inning, the Padres will have, as scheduled, Upton, Bethancourt, Rosales. Hit well to right, but Kemp is positioned perfectly for the out. The throw back to first base, and it is a double play. Franco was slow reacting, started to jog back, and Kemp, he still can fire that pill. And the Padres get a line drive double play, 9-3. Now can the offense muster a couple of runs and tie it up? We're going to the ninth when we come back. Padres baseball brought to you by Sony, the leader of 4K Ultra HD. By Petco, your complete pet store. And by your San Diego County Lexus dealers. Ben Franklin Bridge. Spanning, that go over to New Jersey?
It does.
Not for sale. Go up to New York to get any bargains in that regard. Genmar Gomez. As we mentioned, he's got 3 saves of the 3 victories so far posted by the Phils, and trying to make it 4 for 4. 4 innings of pitching. No runs allowed. Andres Blanco is the new first baseman, replacing Ryan Howard. And it's up to Upton to get things going here, get a base runner on there, bring the tying run to the plate. Melvin has struck out twice, and in between double to left center field. Make it down the left field line is double. Bethancourt, Rosales scheduled to follow.
Looping a blast. Isn't that the recipe here?
I don't know what page that is in the old recipe book. We got to find where that is, because that would play nicely. It would taste delicious. No team has been shut out 5 times in its first 9 games of a season. Can you believe that? Padres are 3 outs away from being the first ever. That's not going to that record book. 1-1. Then in between, they scored 2 games, 29 runs. I mean, just go figure. Couldn't get the Padres out in those 2 games.
Yep. It'll drive you crazy if you try to figure it out.
We're getting there. I notice you've got a monogrammed straitjacket.
I know.
Be selective here. Indeed, a walk would be just as good as a base hit. You had to get somebody on there. Right field hit well. Borges is there for the out.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the San Diego Padres and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The account's description of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the San Diego Padres.
Catcher Bethancourt is grounded out twice and struck out. Jabari Blash has come out of the dugout, and he's going to hit for Bethancourt. McClure, the pitching coach, to the mound, and they're going to huddle up there. And while we have a moment, it's time for our Carl's Jr. star of the game, Jared Eichhoff. 7 shutout innings, 4 hits allowed, not a walk, and struck out 9. Very impressive performance by the 25-year-old. They got themselves a good one in the trade with Texas for Cole Hamels, and there's more, 3 or 4 more players in the minor leagues they feel are going to be big leaguers soon. So Blash to hit for Bethancourt.
We needed a base hit right there, because then it would have been a bloop and a Blash, hopefully, with a long one off the bat of Jabari Blash.
Brett Wallace, home run power, is on deck. He's going to hit for Rosales. Flags resting limply on the staffs out in center field, so there's no one to battle on this at bat. Blash takes a strike, 1-1. Atlanta, they're now 0-8. They get whitewashed tonight by the Nationals. Late on that swing, tied him up with a fastball inside.
Yeah, well, the visit there by pitching coach Bob McClure. How about trying to tie up Blash? And that's a nice sinker right there from Gomez.
That's a 55-footer. Phillies pitching tonight, striking out 12 Padres. 9 by starter Eichhoff, and then Hernandez struck out the side with the bases loaded. Got a couple of punch outs in the last inning. That all correlates. When you don't score runs, you look at the strikeout column. Make that 13. And the Padres down to their final out.
Jenmar Gomez stuck to the game plan, and he stuck to the 2-seamer. Good seamer right under the fists, under the handle of that bat, and Blash cannot catch up to it.
But the Padres don't need a home run now. They need a base runner, so they're not going to use Wallace. They'll bring up Derek Norris, hoping he can get on, and then Wallace would hit for Amarista. There's Wallace staying right in the picture. Norris off to a slow start, 4 for 27. Looking for his first RBI as well. Yeah, here's the time for the bloop, and hope that Wallace can get a chance for the blast. Rosales takes a seat as a spectator, a cheerleader. Hoping Norris can get something done here. Ball 1. Two and 0. That's a start. Each team with 5 hits tonight. Phils don't have a hit since the 3rd inning. They got their 2 runs early off the bat of Maikel Franco. That's outside. 3 and 0. He almost has to take 2 pitches here, doesn't he?
I agree with you.
Shift on. That's unusual. Norris usually sees a more balanced infield. Ball 4 on a 4-pitch walk. The Padres will bring the tying run to the plate. Adding a little drama here in the top of the 9th inning, and Brett Walls will be the batter for Amarista. Amarista with a couple of hits tonight. Wallace started last night for Myers at first base, went 0 for 4. First baseman Blanco playing behind the runner, so Norris on the DI will take second base. You saw manager Green motion for him to go ahead and take it. They're giving you the base, and there he goes. Ball gets away anyway, and on defensive indifference, that just makes it a little tougher on the infield. They can't get the easy 4s.
Exactly.
Well, Gomez has missed on 5 straight pitches.
Needs to miss in the zone now as Pete McCannon up out of his chair, kind of doing a little walking around with. I'll take a seat with bench coach Larry Boa.
Alexei Ramirez, the shortstop, is in the on-deck circle. It's the last position player available for Andy Green. Strike 1 on a changeup. 1-1. That's the kind of pitch he can golf, huh? Two and 1. Home run by Franco in the first, an RBI double in the 3rd. That's been it. Only 5 hits for the Phillies. Padres with 5 as well. Another off speed. Wallace out in front. 1-2 now the count, and the fans here in Philadelphia, a small but noisy crowd rooting for the final strike. 17,638 the official attendance. Ground ball through. Here comes Norris to score. Wallace with the RBI single, and that finally ends the string of 18 shutout innings and puts the tying run aboard for Alexei Ramirez. 2-1 now the score.
Dick, you mentioned it earlier. Brett Wallace, the type of hitter who can really golf a low pitch. Well, let's go to the first pitch. In the dirt, off speed, low again. That's another good changeup way out in front. Now here's the pitch. Fastball down. If taken a ball, he finds the hole, and the Padres still have a pulse here in the ninth.
Ramirez off the bench. First game he has not started for the Padres. And he represents the go-ahead score. Big pinch hit by Brett Wallace. Something he did so effectively all last year. High fastball strike. 6 for 30 Ramirez as he starts his second life in the National League after 8 years with the White Sox. All 6 hit singles. He's got home run power, averaged almost 14 in those 8 seasons in Chicago. 1-1. A lot of speed there at first base. And now the first baseman, of course, Blanco, holding him on. One and two.
Took that one off the front foot. Tell you what, that ball got out there very quickly off the foot. Let's check it out.
Off the shin.
Yeah. That's a shin burger. Outfield on the deep side. Nothing over their head.
Double prevent. A ball, 2 strikes. And a fly ball softly into left field. Galvis goes out into shallow left, and the Phillies have won. Padres get one in the ninth to break the shutout string, but Philadelphia with the victory, 2-1 as we go to San Diego and Mike Pomeranz.